ordered three different cups of coffee for Fawn and some of her coworkers. Before I forget, my next content I want to do is I want to talk about why I chose to come here versus staying to sort of what I like to think of as slugging it out in the U.S. I could have stayed and done that. Wasn't feeling it, and I'll talk about why. Lovely cool breeze coming off the rice fields to the north there. That's my view. A little better than your view. Sorry for you. Even my son, who's my biggest supporter, probably, he said, gee, Dad, it doesn't look good that after the divorce you just basically, kind of ran off to Thailand. Realistically, I was a pretty happy guy. But, I was working until, all my doctors said I just absolutely had to stop. So that was taking up a lot of my time. The work was taking up, it takes up time out of the day. And then I switched into a mode of basically looking at what type of surgery and what doctor, and there's a number of different ways they can potentially fix or help or not your back, and you've got a broken back. And that took a lot of time, a lot of doctor's visits, x-rays, MRI, all that fun stuff. But when you're not doing all that and you're not working, most of my good friends were still gainfully employed. Not too many of my close friends were retired. A couple of the ones that retired or were getting really near retirement or retired right around the time of all this kind of happened to me, were people I kind of lost in the divorce anyway. And my daughter moved to California from Michigan, so it was really me and my boy. And my boy has a 40-hour-a-week job, and I couldn't do rehab. I was on, and I really only intended to come here for a year and then come back and then start this, maybe it'd be 8 months here, 4 there. I don't know. I didn't know. I'm a planner, as most engineers and or people of Germanic descent, and I'm mostly Scandinavian, but I get a good hunk of German in me. Kind of known to be overthinkers and over-analytical people, and that's just the way God made me, so it's just the way it is. But I make a plan. I'm a planner, but I believe in being flexible and adjusting those plans on the fly. The best plan is adjusted on the fly in real time, and I needed to make adjustments. I couldn't get back on a plane to get home. COVID was still a big problem. I wasn't going to be missing a whole lot by leaving. Back home, I had be good friends I'd see in the evening or on the weekends, and of course spending a lot of time with my boy. But I think I wanted to give him some space too. He's the biggest regret, biggest reason for me pressuring myself to return as quick as possible. Not that I don't love my daughter just as much, but she's also then again further away. And she's very independent, and she's doing just fine on her own. Where my boy, I want to kind of make sure that I'm helping him a little bit, because he is an adult with autism. So, yeah, but this has been a good break for him, I think, as well, because he has had a chance to really be independent and to really shine and to really prove not just to everybody else, but to himself, most importantly, that he can really do it. And I just checked in on him a lot. And before I left, I did help him get situated in a best case scenario apartment. I think it's the absolute best spot for him. I got a lot of heat that I was this bad, awful everything I did was some, further proof that I was Satan's best friend, of course. You know how that is. At some point, I just chose not to speak or respond at all. And I just wrapped up my paperwork and just moved on. There's literally no value to talking to someone that every communication is, aha, and look at this. Anyhow, so looking forward to being back with my boy and all that, but so why did I choose to come here? So Thailand's got great health care, and I see the hospital, I'm at the hospital. For a while there, it was every week, a couple times a week even. That's calming down, it's getting better now. Now we're down to a couple times a month, which is much better. And financially, you can really take a pause here if you keep your head about you. And I say that last part because you really do need to. It seems to absolutely not be uncommon that guys come here and quickly spend what they've taken their whole life to accumulate. Guys will come here with 5 to 10 million baht, and they'll spend 4 to 8 of it within the first 2 or 3 years building a ridiculously big house. Why do you need a big house? If it's you and your Thai wife, and maybe she's got one child that stays home or something, maybe. And I've seen a lot of it where it's just 2 people, and they build this big multi-room house. Like I guess it's ego or something. I don't know, but I will tell you on that one. That's something This has been a good pause for me. Hang on, let me shift gears a bit. This has been a good pause for me. I guess by coming here, it's allowed me to really take a pause, because I feel like I'm. Hang on, I'm going to move this microphone just to make sure. I'll let my body block some of it a little bit. But no, by coming here and staying here for a bit, and I didn't plan to again stay 2 years. This has been more of a COVID, and my back surgery was not successful, unfortunately. But by physically coming and staying here, it has actually worked out, because now I really have an opportunity to take a pause. It's been important to me. It really given me a chance to kind of slow down. I mean, I had planned on and built my whole life and directed my whole life like an arrow towards this happy retirement with my former wife. And I was very happy if my son would continue to want to just live with us, which that was a point of disagreement between my former wife and myself. I really didn't care. I love the guy. He's my best friend, and he has some legitimate challenges that the rest of us don't have. And he wasn't hurting anybody staying in the spare bedroom. We had 2 spare bedrooms. What's the harm if he's in one of them? How is that bad? But here, I have Fawn. I've been with her for over a year now, and we're both starting to really settle in. We're both kind of Jai-yen, which is cold heart, but here that means a cooler heart, like not like hot tempered. It's like cool tempered. We're both kind of Jai-yen and calming down and kind of coming together. Her family has been also done the same thing, and we're kind of congealing together a little bit and mixing very well. So that's been going pretty good, and so I actually have ended up with a group of people immediately around me here that care about me and have a vested interest in my well-being, and my role as a provider for Fawn. And it doesn't take a whole lot from an American financial perspective to be significant in a Thai financial perspective, plus all the other things of saving face, providing rules, and organizing the household. To me, in Fawn's case, this is absolutely true, but I don't think this is in any way anything that's unique to her. I think this is very typical of a rural Isan, certainly suburban Kolat for sure, woman just does not seem to have the social authority to really discipline male children, because this is a male-dominated society. So the male children, I'll tell you, her boys ran roughshod over her when I came here, and it took me about 2 weeks to get that stopped. Part of the challenge with this, though, is that by the time you get here, you typically are older, like me, and you don't have patience for a whole lot of crap. So I might overreact from time to time, but some of that's actually not a bad thing. I think that's still Paudi, which is a good fit, because if you get into Thai culture at all, how they deal with the male children, and to me is absolutely nonsensical and unhealthy for all parties involved. But it is what it is, and that's fine. But I told Fun, there's only so much that I'm going to take, and the rest are going to have to bend a little bit to my way, because I'm not dealing with this crap. I am absolutely not. And I told her at 18, I will throw them out. And I meant it, and I mean it. I will not have somebody living in the house that's going to disrespect me. I've got a friend here that his wife's got an older boy, and I don't feel he respects my friend Cornelia well enough at all. He was disrespectful to me, and I wanted to wring his little neck for him. Certainly would not be paying for 1 baht of anything he wanted. Anyways, enough about that. But male children are really, it's a crazy. That's probably the single hardest challenge for me here is male children. And it's getting better because I've pushed a lot of it off to the grandparents. The Thai families raise the children, not just the parents. And sometimes the parents see their own children once or twice a year. That is not super uncommon here. I'm not saying it's everybody. I'm just saying you couldn't call it very uncommon. It certainly occurs on some kind of regular basis. So I knew that. I was aware of that, and I pushed some of that back on off to them, and they've accepted it, and it's made me happier, and everybody's happier. But no, so I end up with Fawn here, and she's a fantastic caregiver. We joke about her being Payaban, which is a nurse, and it was partly true, And sometimes lovingly and jokingly, she and some of her closest friends, not as a public thing, but as her closest friends, they call me Loon, which is uncle, and it's which is kind of true. And this is the way it is, and that's okay. Having this time here to heal, put some distance between me and the divorce, which I signed 48 hours before I hopped on a plane and came here, has helped. I think it's been good time for my kids to kind of give a break. It's allowed everybody to kind of go to their own separate corners and calm down. My ex-wife, it might be fair to say, is a bit of you could say, a kind of a highly confrontation-oriented kind of person. And there's been a lot of that in my absence, but it's taken place in my absence. I have not participated in any of that. And that has not gone unobserved by my children. So it's been really kind of a nice thing to do that. So by coming here, I've avoided all arguing when I would get a nasty text message or something, or maybe some people would find out I had a WhatsApp address or a line ID address or something, and they'd send me some horrible message about what an awful person I was. And I could explain the circumstances of our situation at the time, and I think you would all laugh, but what's the point of me trying to convince you that I'm right? Who cares? But anyway, so I just take the message, I delete it, block the contact, and I didn't have to worry about it. There were no argument. Look at that, Same with emails and stuff. You can't play nice on an email? No, you can't send me an email. How's that working out for you? I just get to sit here and relax, And you don't have the financial worries. You are where I'm at in rural, suburban Kolat, half hour northeast of the city of Kolat, Thailand. Here, my personal wealth is multiplied by about a factor of 5. So I really have no financial worries. Looking to live on, under $1,000 a month? Absolutely, you could do that here. Are you going to be a baller? No. Could you live comfortably? Yes. Could you still find a nice lady? Yes. Can you get the smoking hottest bar girl around? No. You're not going to get the hottest gold digger around either. Not on $900 a month. You're not. But you could find a nice lady that's probably way younger and way better looking than you are, if you're honest. I mean, I look at my photos of me and Fawn, and I realize it does not go unobserved that I look a little ridiculous next to her in a photo. It's probably part of my reason or motivation for cleaning myself up a little bit physically, just so I look a little bit less like she's taking a picture with her dad, That would be nice. I think I can achieve that. I think I'm doing all these skin treatments and stuff. I think in my case, it might be another year yet, but I'll take the challenge and I'll try it. If I can't, I can't. I guess I won't care. There is a really good book, forgive the vulgarity, but the title of the book is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And I would highly recommend that to anyone coming here, and then choose what you want to give a F about and what you don't. I think as we get older, it's very wise to learn to more judiciously determine which things you are or are not going to care about. It really will greatly increase your inner peace. It really will. Here, there's a lot of Thai culture I do care about because I'm attempting to mingle in and with the Thais, much more so than the typical foreign retiree. Not as much as some others, but I'm absolutely on the much higher end of the spectrum in what I'm attempting to do. I'm just going to shift gears a little bit. So that's something I'm doing. I'm working on blending in here. It's important to me to have some English-speaking friends, and it's nice to at least once a month be able to get out and go somewhere and sit down and maybe have a bite of American food and talk English for 2 hours. That's not, and it feels really great. And then after having said that, then I'm ready to go back home and go back to Thai. So I kind of know why I feel that way. It's so bizarre, but that's how I feel. Who can say? Focusing on Thai language, Thai culture, my time with Fawn. Makes me feel good, help her with stuff, mostly help her discipline her boys, which their behavior is far better, and their school performance is shot up. So their whole family's like totally approving of her relationship with me, which just feels good. You know, we all like being appreciated and validated, right? I think it's been better to do this than if I would have stayed back home, I would have been burning a lot higher rate. Oh, and I couldn't afford health insurance back home anyways. My financial advisor goes, well, you're actually in pretty good shape, Rob. He goes, well, unless you got to pay for health care here, he goes, it'll bankrupt you in probably 5 years, you know, because I have some significant health needs, so, and no insurance. You know, in the U.S., your insurance is tied to your job. Coming here, I don't have insurance either. I just self-insure. I have a minimum policy, but all the policies here I found just don't really cover anything. You're not going to really, I haven't seen it, and I'm sure it's happened, but for me, I haven't seen a policy I could buy that would be cheaper than the medical care I require. The insurance companies are pretty smart, so they're going to figure what it's going to cost, and they're going to add a good profit on top of that, multiply by 3 or 4, and then they're going to charge me that much. It's just been cheaper to get the bare minimum, you know, pardon me, bullshit policy that covers basically nothing. And I think if I'm dead, it sends Fawn a piece of paper saying he's dead. That's about all that policy covers, I think. And then I just pay, you know, and hope I'm okay. Eventually, I'll get Medicare back in the States, and then if I have anything really bad, I can run home to the States. Medicare does not work in outside the country, by the way. Those are kind of my reasons and my thoughts and my ramblings and whatnot about heading for Thailand rather quickly, in my case, rather than staying and slugging it out. And you know, my ex-wife kind of wanted to continue the divorce, and she really did. And she wanted to drag me back into court, I think within 60 days of signing, and it was all that, you know, and all that, and none of that worked out for her because I wasn't physically present. So it just was a better way. It was a better way, and this has been much more peaceful. So if you're not so happy back home, I hope you consider this option, and I hope it works for you too. Good luck. Well, well, well. My name is Rob, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. I meant every word I just said with respect.